What's poppin', y'all? Looks like it might be over, or it looks like it's probably over for Tory Lanez because he's just been sentenced to 10 years in prison for the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. And in response, he said the following. Tory spoke for several minutes. He said he still cares about Megan. He called her, quote, someone I still care for dearly to this day, regardless of what she may think of him. He said, the victim's my friend. He talked about bonding with her over the loss of their mothers. We both lost our mothers. We would sit there and drink until we got numb. About the shooting, I said some very immature things that I shouldn't have said. I revealed some secrets I shouldn't have revealed. This was very sad overall. Number one, because you kind of see the time that Tory got, which 10 years for this is crazy. I mean, he was supposed to potentially get more. They were petitioning for more. There was no way in hell he was going to get probation. I mean, he literally took it to trial. They're not giving you probation after you just took it to trial, spent all this time, wasted everybody's time. The reason why they gave him the plea that he had initially was because of this. And this just makes me more confused about the whole situation because the way that Tory Lanez was moving before the case started, you would think this guy has to be innocent or he's a lunatic. And I think how he handled the case too, he was perhaps trying to protect Kelsey too much and just screwed himself over. And I don't know if you guys saw this headline too, but a couple of weeks ago, they were saying that Tory Lanez was, I forgot the word that they used, but they pretty much said he had given up. Like he had given up all hope and he was just kind of depressed and sunken. And it's unfortunate. Just from a talent perspective, right? For instance, who on God's green earth has the nerve to, let's ignore this whole situation. Let's say we've got Tory Lanez music, just the music, and we've got Megan Thee Stallion's music. And you're like, hey, you got to cut one of these careers. Whoever is cutting Tory's career over Megan's is a lunatic. I mean, this person shouldn't even, their privilege to listen to music, to hear, their auditory senses should be removed and given to someone else who deserves them better. Because at that point, you're just a criminal. You're an audio criminal if you'd rather have more Megan Thee Stallion music than more Tory Lanez music. That's just a musical perspective. Circling back to Tory Lanez, they were giving him 3 years, I think, or maybe less. Potentially, he could have gotten out in like less than 2 had he taken the plea deal, but he didn't want to get deported. Now that's going to happen. Academics did divulge some information, though, which was that Tory Lanez is in the process of getting married. He's engaged. So if he's a Canadian citizen, he had been living in the U.S., probably on a work visa situation. And then he gets this charge, which is a really, really bad charge because it's a violent crime too, and it's a felony. Now, after he serves this time, what's supposed to happen is he gets deported to Canada. So overall, he'd probably serve around 7 years, starting from today, which is a lot of time to serve. If you guys remember, Bobby Shmurda did about 6 or a little bit more than 6, and that felt like a very, very, very long time. Tory is going to do more than that. And one of the tweets that I sent out, I'm not going to read it exactly, you should follow me on Twitter though, was I said something along the lines of, Tory Lanez first got his feet wet in the industry 10 years ago. 2013, he wasn't lit. He was just, starting to make some moves. He had dropped like a mixtape or two. I think he wasn't with Sean Kingston anymore. But he didn't actually have a breakthrough until 2015 or 16 with Say It and Love. But he was getting in the industry for 10 years. Or let's just say lit, right? He got lit after Say It. He was at his peak in 2020. And even after that, while this whole thing was going on, he was hitting new strides with people showing him a lot of love. So let's say 7 years that he was popping. He's about to do more than 7. It's going to be like 8, considering he's been gone for a year. He's about to spend a longer time in a cell than he did enjoying his career. And he definitely enjoyed his career. Think about it. Penthouses, luxury, quarantine radio. Think of the peaks of quarantine radio and how much love he was getting. Kylie Jenner, he felt like he was him. And then one momentary lapse in judgment, and he's going to be sitting inside a cell for 7+ years, nobody really caring about him, barely anybody reaching out to him, and life just passing him by. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people recognize, which is your freedom. So would you trade, let's say 7 years, you got to live like Tory. You're probably looking at Tory like, damn, man, this guy's got all the hoes. He's got all the bread. He's got the jewelry. He's got the Rolls Royce Cullinan. He just made $1 million in a day off this NFT thing. He's really living. If you knew that after those 7 years, you were about to do 8 in prison, would you take it? Probably not. I would certainly hope not if you've got some sense. Yet, that's his situation, or that's his reality right now. And as for Megan Thee Stallion, man, I'm not going to lie. This whole situation, she was really aggressive at the end. Not aggressive, but she was like, yeah, pretty much I want him to get the worst sentence possible. I have seen mothers who have had their kids killed, right? Straight up murder. And they showed more mercy to the perpetrator in court than Megan Thee Stallion has showed mercy to Tory Lanez. It's insane. I'm not saying the people that, killed somebody deserve any type of mercy whatsoever, but even the mother is saying like, yeah, I understand, I forgive him. I still want him to do the time, but, I hope God forgives, or I hope he's able to change his life, and I forgive him because, I believe in God and all of this other stuff. Megan is on some hell nah, I don't forgive him. When, sure, I'm not saying she wasn't traumatized by the event, but thankfully for Megan, her life physically is unaltered. She's still able to work. She's still able to conduct herself in the same way. She's, gotten more popular. Her career's in a good spot right now. She's kind of transcended music because nobody really cares about Megan Thee Stallion music right now. So everything's going well for her. She really, really must hate this guy to not even say, I hope he's able to, recover and I forgive him for what happened. Not that he deserves that or that he should be granted that, but it's just something that I thought I should point out because I know you guys have seen the same thing too with other people where you're like, damn, I can't believe this person forgave this person for this crime. As for his career, man, 7 years is a long time to be gone. Just look at how long Pooh Shiesty's been gone, and he's, nobody's talking about him. You probably were like, oh, Pooh Shiesty? I think he's set to get out in a year. Pooh Shiesty will be fine. I do believe that. Like, he'll come back. Everyone will work with him. He'll get back lit. But 7 years to be gone is a long time. People kind of took to Tory in a positive way before he got locked up, so I think people might still be willing to collaborate with him. But I can't even imagine what the world, music landscape, everything is going to look like 7 years from now. The biggest lesson here is not making impulsive decisions. And I think Tory Lanez, Tory Lanez is also screwed because he has to go back to Canada. I forgot about the point that I was making about the marriage. So let's say Tory Lanez is getting married and then he's getting married to a U.S. citizen. The path to citizenship is then filed by the person that is a U.S. citizen. The problem is, will they grant it to Tory Lanez? Because one of the requirements is to be demonstrating good moral character, right? So if you've committed certain crimes, especially violent crimes, they're like, hey, this person isn't showing good moral character. He's a felon. He was convicted of shooting at a woman. And then if you look at his previous history, I think he had like arrests for a bunch of aggravated stuff, like violent stuff, like when he was pulling up on Dax, a lot of impulsive things. I think maybe he had like a gun charge before that. So his case, even if he gets married to the U.S. citizen and tries to file for it, it's not going to look good at all. So he might not even get that. And then if he's deported to Canada, not only did he lose 7+ years of his life sitting in a cell, in a U.S. prison cell, now he has to go back to Canada, and his whole market is in the U.S. So at that point, he's going to try to go to the U.K. or something? Will the U.K. even let him in after he has a record like that? So then he's basically stuck away from a lot of his friends and family who are in the U.S. with less of a lit career, and he can't even capitalize on the U.S. market anymore. So he's just screwed from every angle in which way you try to look at it, which the biggest lesson is decision making. Those small decisions that you're like, man, screw this, I'm going to do this. That can ruin your life forever. Tory Lanez is losing so much time with his kid. I really don't envy him whatsoever. I wouldn't trade anything for freedom and peace of mind. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, it's finally over. It's been 3+ years that we've been following this case, seeing what's going to happen. Now, the real question is, can Megan stay a star? Because realistically, after Ice Spice came in the game, you've even got Glorilla. Who's the other female rapper? I feel like Glorilla kind of, not fell off. That's not the proper word, but Glorilla is not as lit as she was. Well, Lotto, Coi Leray, and I got to do another Coi Leray by the way. Coi Leray video, by the way. That album she dropped was hard. I told y'all I was going to go listen to it. I'm going to save it for another video, but man, I'm impressed. Yeah, it doesn't even seem like Megan Thee Stallion comes up in top 3, top 4, top 5 conversations of female rappers right now. If you're like, hey, well, who's the 5 most lit female rappers? I think a lot of people aren't mentioning Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, we'll see how her career progresses. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.